Hi, my name is Jacqui-lee Pryce and welcome to Shadowboxruk. So anyone that's joining us, so we are very, very lucky this evening to have, oh, you're looking sexy, girl, Franchon Crews-Dezurn, the WBO and the WBC Super-Middleweight champion of the world. Because I feel like I need to do it like that.
I love it.
How are you, my darling?
I'm good. And it sounds even greater when you said, beautiful accent, beautiful face. It's so nice to meet you.
Oh, bless you. And you. And you. Nice to see your face. So, all going well. Are you looking well? You said you've had a busy day. How's life been treating you otherwise?
You know what? The fact that I get to wake up and breathe, that's the most, I'm so grateful for that, especially in these days and times. But you know, I'm making my way slowly but surely. You know, with boxing making its way back into the mainstream, which is a great thing because that's my job. But I'm just loving to see a lot of unity. It's still some hate out there, but a lot of unity and love amongst my people and just people around the world. So I'm just taking it all in.
Yeah. Let's talk about firstly the training. So you've been locked up with your husband, who is your trainer. How's that been going?
You're like, I'm still fighting. He's my training partner. So yeah, I'm stuck with him.
In a good way, though.
Yeah.
Good. And I understand that you want to be on the same card as him. You've mentioned that in the press in the past.
Yeah.
Have you managed to sort of have that resolved? Or are you able to get that for the next fight?
Well, we have a couple of my main goal is getting my date, period, and that's definitely in the works. I've had confirmation from the people I work with, but I know it's going to happen because I'm the boss. I'm going to make it happen. So just getting back to the ring is the first and number one priority.
Yeah. What's nice though also is that you're giving him an opportunity as well. Do you know what I mean? It's nice that you're going, listen, we're in this together, let's move together, which is a great thing because sometimes that doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's how it's always been. Actually, my husband was on a big stage before me. Like he's been on Showtime a few times, and it's just give and take. It's like a race, like a relay race. I'll get ahead a little bit, then he comes in and he gets ahead, then I'll catch up. So it's just a give and take, and yeah, just to show a united front because I don't think that's been done in history yet. Like active husband and wife fighting on the same card. I just want to continue to like push the boundaries.
Yeah, and what's great about that as well though is listen, let's not get it twisted. Some men might have difficulty with their woman being successful, and like you're saying, it's a give and take, but that's a great thing that he's going, listen, this is your moment, beautiful, I got you.
Listen, everybody should be like Glenn because he realizes that what you invest in me, what he invests in his wife will make his life easier. Not financially, just as far as, you know, being a woman, we're the closest thing to God. And you can give us a penny and we'll make it $1. We multiply blessings. So he's really like taking that to his mind. And he's comfortable in himself. He's an alpha male. Like when I became unified champion, we were all looking around for him in the ring and he was outside the ring because, you know, take boxing away from me, he still like loves me. And that's what, you know, I'm very blessed for.
No, you're very, very lucky. Very lucky. So I'm just going to talk to you about, I know it might seem so far away since you've been an amateur, but for the British guests, they may not know that you had a really successful amateur career, 68 fights.
You know, Boxrec is wrong. Like, I've been fighting since 2005, and unfortunately, that's not correct. Like, that's just probably one book. But I've had a very, very successful career. I'm a 15-time national champion, 5-time Pan Am gold champion, 2-time world medalist as well. So you know, I have a lot of love for UK. I've actually had the opportunity to fight there, and hopefully in the future I can fight there again.
Yeah, I'm sure listen, we'd love to have you here. But yeah, it is good to sort of, you know, just to go back and have a look at that amateur base, because people that don't know you may feel like, oh, well, she's only had 7 bouts or 8 bouts as a pro and all of a sudden she's a world champion. It's like, no. This took time, did it not?
No, it's not easy. It's just like the cool thing about having an extensive, sorry, I'm trying to get set up. The cool thing about having an extensive amateur career, that's my resume. Like, I put in a lot of work, and when I do want to take those chances, when the opportunity came for me to fight for a world title, I had to get letters written to the WBC, and basically, like, I've never fought an 8-round. Well, at the time I won my first title, I had never fought 8 rounds. I basically went from 6 rounds to 10 rounds, and I had to prove myself, and having that amateur pedigree made it a lot easier for me to prove myself.
Yeah. What is your thoughts on, you know, just girls that go have a few amateur bouts and go straight into pro? Because I'm an amateur coach. I have been for years, and I do see the difference between girls that have been amateurs first and a high pedigree going into the pros versus women that have not. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, for me, when I came in the game, I became a national champion with 4 fights, defeating the defending champion. She had 21 fights. Like, you have some fighters that's gifted, and if you are willing to learn and you are blessed to have, like, you know, like a God-given talent, I would say I have a God-given talent because I basically learned on the job. But as women's boxing is progressing and there's more opportunities as an amateur now, so I would suggest, you know, get some experience. And so when you do step on a pro level, you are more prepared because the skill level has, you know, elevated. And it's a different ball game. And the way that they're structuring amateur is kind of preparing girls and guys for the professional ranks. But like, you have some girls who never was a national champion, international champion, that's a world champion now. So it's just, you know, how hard do you want to work? How much do you want it? And just putting in the work and having a good team around you.
I mean, I guess what I'm trying to get at also is the fact that what the amateur really does give you is experience as well. No one knows what they're going to be like under those lights. That pressure, do you know what I mean? At least in the amateur game, there's no pressure if you lose. That's the weird thing that you guys have to deal with in the pros, isn't it?
Like, for me, I've always been like a top seed. So fighting on those big stages prepared me. Like, I went pro with Clarissa Shields, and we fought on a war undercard, and freaking, I think, where were we at, Vegas or somewhere? But that would have been a lot for somebody. But if you are used to those big platforms, it's nothing.
But you fought her 3 times. You fought her 3 times in the amateurs as well, didn't you?
Mhm.
So you kind of made that journey together, which is kind of cool. Do you not think?
Yeah, I think it's dope. I think just seeing how the tides changed with being a part of that whole movement in 2012 and 2016, and just doing my little part. You know, I did my part, and just seeing like all the women just elevate the game, it meant a lot to me.
Nice. So I'm going to talk to you about your, I think it was your last bout, wasn't it? Which was for the WBO and the WBC world belts. And it was against Alejandra Jimenez. I hope I've said that right. So let's talk about that fight. We've got to talk about that fight. So firstly, I want to ask you, what was it like? For those that don't know, I don't know who may not know. So you fought, she got the decision, she got your belt. Fast forward, find out she's been taking drugs, basically, enhancing drugs. They've taken the belts back. They've given them back to the rightful owner. Okay. Let's talk to me about when you got a phone call. Was it a letter, an email? When you got the nod that you got your belts back, talk to me about that.
Well, I'm just going to say this. I'm not even going to give her, I'm going to answer your question, but that doesn't deserve any more free press, free anything from me, because nobody would have known who that person was on a big scale if it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I realized, honestly, I found out, like everyone else, through social media when the WBC posted that the drug test came back negative. And then I got a call from my promoter just, reiterating the same thing. So I kind of went on a journey just like everyone else. And once I found out, I just got my lawyer and just got my team together. And it was like, okay, round two, let's go. Let's fight for these belts.
Yeah, yeah. But I can't believe that you didn't actually you found out via, social media. It seems a little bit disrespectful if
No. I don't think it's that because I'm not even gonna do that. When the results were released, it was like 2 weeks after the fight, which is standard for those type of tests. Like you have to, it's extensive testing and running it through. So as soon as like I got an email as well from everyone, but as soon as the main bodies, the governing bodies found out, they put it out. And then like literally like 10 minutes later, my promoter called out. So I mean, I found out when everyone else did,
okay.
and I got an official email, so I wasn't like too upset,
Yeah, yeah. I know you don't really want to give her. We won't name her. We won't name her. But I did hear somewhere that you were saying that you kept sort of thinking something's not right, and I watched the fight, thinking. I've watched a lot of fights. I'm also a judge, and I was just literally like, hold up. None of those shots seem to be having any effect. So I'm gonna what I would call walking through you, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. What I mean by that is anybody that didn't know boxing, they would just think, oh, that she's walking through. I was like, nah, something there. When you're throwing shot after shot after shot, and there wasn't even a wince, it was just a plough forward. I was like, what is going on there? Was there a moment when you went into your head and thought, what is going on here?
When look, just like you said, having that amateur pedigree, you can. I'm known around the world. Ask Savannah Marshall if I can punch. Ask her if I can punch. My name lives up to my reputation. I can punch very hard. I'm like, okay, this is the beginning of the fight. It's cool, boom. But when I'm hitting you flush and the recovery time, I'm not saying you can't recover from those type of punches because I got hurt in one of the rounds myself. It took me and I got a good chin. It took me like a good 1 or 2 rounds to even get myself together. If you look at the first round, she buckled. I almost knocked her out the first round. But like the 4th round, it started sitting like, hold up. I even asked my coach, I said, am I doing something wrong? Like, what's going on?
Yes.
I've never seen anything like that. Like you said, you watched a lot of boxing, and I've been in a lot of boxing, and I know eventually I break my opponent down. Like I know what I can do, and it won't get done that night.
But that's what I'm saying. You surely were going, hold up. Am I connecting? Because I'm doing my work, but it doesn't seem to be having an effect at all.
Yeah, I told you the 4th round, I actually was in the corner. I asked my coach, I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like, if you look at my face, I'm looking like, what the F? Like, what the F?
Yeah. You literally are going, hold up. And this is what I'm saying. If people don't really understand boxing, they might see that you looking like that is almost a testament to I'm getting beat. And it was like, no. There's something not right there. So I'm going to go on. Sorry.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Even if you look at the fight, listen to the commentary. It was never like, oh, Franchon's getting pieced up. It was like, wow. Basically, that person was getting props for getting beat up, getting punched, and getting constantly hit and not like flinching. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. You don't win fights that way. You win fights by landing punches and throwing them.
Yeah.
And it was just, it was exciting. I'm glad the fans enjoyed it. I'm mostly grateful I have my life. That's the most important thing. And I'm happy that the topic of PEDs and women's boxing and men's boxing was brought to the forefront. And if my situation will help other fighters or other people, that's cool. But yeah, it was a life experience I'll never forget. I'm still traumatized.
Yeah. Do you think people were more surprised because it was a female? taking enhancing drugs, because people seem to think that that's a male thing.
I mean, if you look at that person, you can obviously tell something's going on. And it's not just the initial appearance. You know, we hit growth spurts, we go through puberty as adolescents, but you're a grown ass woman. How from 2 years ago, now you look like a grown ass man? So I'm just like, okay.
And the other thing being, though, that whole weight loss thing, the other thing that I was thinking of, not a lot of people know this unless they're involved in the sport or coaches, etc. Just when someone drops weight, that drastic amount of weight, they don't necessarily take their power with them. So she's dropped all of that weight, and then it was like, this woman's strong.
It was like and you could lift weights, but it was like,
yeah,
this is what I can do, because I could sit here and people like, oh, you're a hater, you're this, that, and the third.
No.
I would suggest people Google that person's name, look at the last 3 opponents they had, and look how they fought, and then look at my fight and tell me either that's some enhancements or an act of God. And we all know due to test is not an act of God, because first true super middleweight that person's fought. The other ones were like souped up welterweights that's been out the gym for 2 years. And the last person, she had a draw with like an over the hill fighter. Like, come on now.
Yeah, I've had a look at the bouts, to be honest.
Look at the last 3 fights before me. Look at the last 3 fights, and that person had a draw.
Yeah, yeah. I just couldn't believe the strength, actually, to be honest with you. But I'm going to have to address it. The hair situation. First, as a black woman, I'm like, listen, we go through it all the time. You bossed it out. So fair play to you. You bossed it out. And secondly, I want to ask you what that's like for, I've heard a few sisters out there have openly ridiculed you for that. Yeah. How does that make you feel coming from your own people?
What's funny, Layla Ali threw shots at me indirectly. I had like Antonia Tarver and Layla Ali like joking me, and I had to pull him up and like, yo, like, you're one of the, you know, the OGs. Not only you seen what I went through, why would you bash me like that? And that's what we're trying to get to, is like, as we support boxing in a whole, in a total. But unfortunately, in our community, we don't support our fighters. Like, as soon as they have a bump in the road, we throw them under the bus and we just throw them away and jump on a train of bashing them. It was a lot, but you know, I actually grew from it, and I had a lot of my San Antonio friends, Hispanic fans. They showed me a lot of love. They said, man, you have grande, corazón grande. Like, I have a big heart, because they saw me. I was fighting my ass off. I was fighting my hair off, you know? And of course, being a woman of color and I wear extensions, it was a moment of like fight or flight. My coach said, do you want the belts or do you want that hair? And I told him, fuck that hair. I want the belts. And that's how I went and fought. I did my best. And it just showed me like I was my true self. People can see the heart. And I would guarantee if I had 2 more rounds, it would have been a different decision from the jump.
It's not only that you had heart in terms of boxing, you showed a moment of vulnerability, which everyone thinks black women yes, we are strong. Of course we're strong. But then there is also, obviously, the soft side. So you showed a bit of vulnerability there. And a split second later, that almost generated the next step for you, which was, fuck the hair. I'm going for the belt. You understand? Fuck that hair.
I started a whole campaign. When I fight again, I'm going to have some F that hair shirts for people. And it just showed, like, it was a second win. It was a second win. And my husband's like, see, that was holding you back from the jump. You shouldn't even wear that hair. And I was like, okay, whatever. But I felt good because I could be myself. I was just me. Yeah, I should have had my stuff cornrowed and greased, but I was focused on fighting. But I just, you know, you got to see me. I'm the Phoenix, the Black Phoenix, and I rose to the occasion.
Exactly. And what is beautiful is, listen, inside the ring, you do the business. Outside of the ring, you're a goddess. So you are a singer, I hear, as well. I hear that you're a designer, and of course, you like to dress up and you know, I don't even want to say, yeah, you like to dress up and look sexy. And then
Yeah,
you go for it. You do the
I
business and
like,
then you look sexy.
yeah, I like to embrace, you know, that gift I have. Like I can dress up. I could put on some sweatpants and some pumps and feel sexy, or I could put on a nice, you know, mini skirt and some pumps or sneakers and feel sexy. Like I love being a chameleon. I just love exploring like my different looks and personalities because that makes me me. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm cool. I've been in quarantine so long, so I have to remember how to dress because it's like, you know what? Look at me like two prints on, but it's cool because I'm in bed talking to you.
Exactly. I got a pair of real tiny shorts on. Like, it's who cares? Do you know what I mean? But do you know
Business
what is lovely?
party down bottom.
But listen, here's the lovely thing. You're really good mates with Sulem as well, aren't you? And I love the fact that you ladies go with the whole bikini look. And she was saying to weigh in. So she was saying basically she's had a hard time when she's dressed like that for a weigh-in. Have you experienced that as well?
Well, me, I've created for my last like 2 or 3 fights. I've created my own uniform. Like I made my own weigh-in outfit. Like the what I would actually wear. And
The gold.
sometimes my is sponsored by like I have a design. I have like a couple designers that work with me, like black designers that work with me. Wendy Williams, like Cardi B has worn some of their stuff. So I have like, you know, like real stuff. But I
Yeah.
make my I have to make sure it covers up the places. It doesn't add any extra weight. But I'm determined to have some abs and look real hot and sexy when I step on the scale next time.
But I'm liking that. I like the little gold one you had. Was that the last one?
Yeah.
The gold one? Yeah.
I was like, don't push too hard because something might fall out.
I know.
They would have been like, she got boobs falling out, she got hair falling out. Keep it together, French.
Listen, as long as the boobs don't fall out, it's fine. It's fine. But it's a good look because I think, like I was saying to Sulam, it's selling. You know, there's two sides to you, and it's selling both sides, which I think is really great. Oh, Tasha's that Tasha Jones just joined
One of
us.
my inspirations is Little Kim. I love Little Kim. Like you could see some rappers these days, and you're like, oh, they're kind of raunchy, like a whore or something. But Little Kim was such a lady, but she was
Yeah,
grimy. She's sex. She was hardcore, and I said, yo, I love her. Like I love it because even though her persona was one way, you knew not to
yeah,
approach her disrespectfully or come to
yeah,
her any type outside of, off the stage.
yeah, yeah. No, definitely. So, in terms of like moving forward, what have you got planned? Have you got any dates in the diary?
Well, Golden Boy is apparently we were supposed to go back July 4th. Not me, but picking up shows with the company. They're looking at the end of July, and hopefully between July and September I should be going. September is a really special month for me. Both 2018, 2019, I won championships, and Canelo fights. That would be an amazing feat for me. I would love to fight on one of those cards. But I'm just looking through like July, August, September. My goal now is just to keep preparing mentally and physically, and I'm trying to finish getting my degree this year too. So I'm just working on a few different things and
Okay.
staying busy.
So, what are you
Yeah.
doing a degree in?
Huh?
What are you doing a degree in?
Small business management, concentration and entrepreneurship. So what I already do, but I'm just trying to,
Yeah.
what I can learn, get my structure together, and just keep expanding.
You do strike me as you've got everything together, you know, the look before the fight, the design. No, I'm talking about just the whole package together. You can tell
Yeah.
you're someone that's looking at it from a bigger and a longevity point of view.
I've been groomed for this. Like I've been raised on the scene, and like I said, I stepped out on a national scene. My eighth fight, I was fighting in Russia, so I've been exposed and cultured in this world of boxing and entertainment. And this is what I do. This is who I am. I'm a performer at heart. I've always been like extrovert, but I'm also introvert. But this is
Yeah.
what brings me alive. I love it, and this is just me.
Nice. So talking about the new sort of setup for the fights behind closed doors, did you manage to catch any of the fights on television yet? And what are your
Yes,
thoughts on it?
I was able to see like some of Shakur's fight when he came back, and a couple other fights. But yeah, I'm for me, I'm cool with it. Like I started from the bottom. I started in club shows on the school parking lot, so it doesn't matter to me. And I'm a performer. To know I have a TV screen, like I'm on TV. I'm gonna give you guys what you want.
Yeah, yeah. To be honest, most people that have been amateurs say, listen, we've boxed in venues where there's hardly any people, so it doesn't really matter. We'll just get in there and get it done. Um,
Yeah.
one of the things that has been brought up though, so obviously usually you have the crowd. Now you've got the commentators sitting at ringside. Everybody's will be able to hear what they're saying, and with the greatest respect, some judges may be swayed by what they're saying. How do you think you'll feel when you hear, like, okay, she's doing well, or she's not doing well, or she's, the commentary, the live commentary?
Oh, I don't care, man. I fought in 2012 when I should have won a world gold medal. I fought China in China, and every round they were telling you what the score was, and every time, Glenn, I'm sorry, this is married life. Thank you. Sorry. And every
No.
round they would tell me like the score, and I just saw the deficit coming, and it's like, okay, do I just break down and give up, or do I keep fighting and I fight harder? You know what I'm saying? So that it doesn't bother me. I'm just ready to fight.
No,
I'm ready
fair
to
enough.
fight. I hear my coaches, I can hear my husband, and that's the only voices I need to hear. And I listen to my opponent's corner so we can get it in. Like I'm hearing everything.
So you'll have your ears cocked. So you've mentioned Savannah Marshall. So you say you've boxed her before. Have you been
Yeah,
watching any of her sort of fights in the professional scene? What are your thoughts on her and Clarissa Shields?
she's doing good. She got a lot better. Like she's always been a good fighter, but I could see she's more settled into the pros now, and she's getting her opportunity to fight for a world title soon. And the more the merrier.
Yeah, yeah. I think that top level now is really getting really delicious with talent. And then let's say next year when the next crop come through after the Olympics, it's really gonna like mix it up again, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been through a couple cycles. So I mean, I feel like a Beyonce. I feel like a Michael Jordan, because Michael Jackson too. Like I feel like I can evolve through each era of boxing.
Mm.
When I was a new kid on the block, and I'm a young veteran, so I feel like long as I keep healthy and just keep my mind sharp.
Yeah.
Bernard is one of my mentors, so it is what it is.
Yeah, nice. I think it's quite exciting actually for the people that are already there because, you can really get into the mix and yeah, I think there's some great fights ahead. In
Yeah,
terms of great fights, Katie Taylor was supposed to fight Amanda Serrano. Miss Serrano was pulled out, they're saying, because of money. Number one, what's your thoughts on that in terms of her pulling out with regard to money?
I got love for Katie. Like I don't feel like it's personally her, but the business aspect, I fully support Amanda Serrano. I fully support her because we've done so much to raise women's boxing, like women like Amanda, women like Katie, and others. And we're already underpaid, mind you. We're already underpaid as women, and this is a person that's entertaining. Both of them are very entertaining, and the first person you want to cut is Amanda's or Katie. Like it doesn't make sense. I feel like they are very deserving. Amanda's deserving of a, 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 a purse that is worth her worth. And it's just unfortunate. Hopefully somebody gets some galls and just go ahead and pay the woman so we can get this great fight. Like, we need this fight.
It's interesting because everybody was really salivating over this fight. And there's a line of thought here that Serrano should have just taken the money, and maybe next time around she'll get the money. And then there is the other line of thought, like, no, she's really got to put her foot down and say, no, I'm worth this, and I'm not fighting until I get this.
And,
yeah.
And has the merit to do that. She has the merit to do that. You look at some of these guys, and my stablemate Ryan Garcia, he was supposed to fight July 4th, but he was not comfortable with the money, and he's not even a world champion yet. But he's like, I'm not okay with that money, and pulled out the card.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like, and Serrano says she's not hurting for money. She's not rich, but she's not hurting. So she knows her worth, and I feel like she's doing the right thing, and it's going to set the precedence for other female fighters as well.
I totally agree. I don't think it's Katie, and I think you're right. What will start to happen is, people want to see that fight. That's the first thing. People are desperate to see that fight. So either they're going to have to come up with some more money, like you say, or as long as women start to say, I am worth more than this, I think that's how.
You have like the Clarissa Shields. She's making money. It's not men, but she's definitely pushing the limit. Katie Taylor's pushing the limit. You got Jessica Mascal and having our allies with the guys, the men who are supporting behind the scenes, making sure we are getting that money. That's very important. So, it's not a secret. It's not science, rocket science. Just get the money together. It's going to benefit. You're going to get the viewership. You're going to get everything you want. Who knows? You might even get like a rematch clause or something and do another one. So just come on. Like, that's crazy.
Do you find that a lot of women also are struggling for sponsorship? Because I hear a little bit in the background, and there are people that I'm really surprised don't have full-time sponsors, as in females.
Yeah, I have a full-time sponsor. I don't.
Wow.
And I'm certified. I have like my affiliates, like, Snack. I have like Neural Movement, Onward. Like, I get the things I need, but I'm talking about like hardcore sponsors. No, I don't.
Wow.
And I show and prove every time I step out of there. But at the end of the day, you put the work in, you're gonna reap the benefits sooner or later. So I just keep focused and keep fighting and keep trying to win.
Well, hopefully, I think you need to mention it more in interviews, and then maybe somebody will take the hint, and then you'll be a full-time paid athlete.
So if anybody's out there listening, if you're looking for a fine boxer with a couple belts, a lot of heart, a lot of ambition, and good work ethic, holler at me. I'm looking for sponsors.
Why not? Listen, why not? Why not? Listen, like they say, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Period. That's what my attorney said. If you don't ask, you don't get.
Exactly. So I wanted to take it onto a little bit more of a serious note. So obviously in the last sort of 3 weeks, we came out of lockdown, and then there were the George Floyd protests. How has that affected you and the people around you?
It's a lot. It's very heavy. Like, my social media presence has dwindled. I don't feel comfortable boasting about certain things. Like, I try to make, if I post right now, especially in these times, post something that is positive and something that's contributing to the movement. It's very traumatic every time you turn on and you see like another person of color, Black person, getting killed by police. It's hurtful to see like people who rather be part of they don't want to be part of the solution. They want to continue to add to the problem. They're not empathetic. They're acting like it doesn't matter. They're acting like people just pulling this out of thin air, and that's not the case at all. I'm proud of the people who are listening, the people who are trying to re-educate themselves, the people who are just, you know, like, hey, I really don't understand what's going on, but I support you. I love you and I respect you. It's just a lot, and it's just a shift in the world, and I feel like this is needed because as a country in America, you're in the UK, but as a country, a lot of this has been swept under the rug, and it's been made the norm when it's not the norm. It's not normal. Like, being a slave is not normal, like, you know? So I feel like this is needed, and hopefully we can grow from it. My place and my platform is just to offer support, positivity, spread love, spread knowledge, and, you know, do what I can as a public figure.
Did you feel, though, at any point that some of the outpouring, and we obviously, we're affected here, but obviously not as much as you guys in America, but it felt very much to me, not so much the American side, our side, that there was this sort of outpouring of support. And I do think that some people genuinely want to learn and genuinely want to support. But I've had a few boxes on here that felt that it was quite fake from our side. It didn't seem to resonate as organic. Let's just put it that way.
Well, I feel like, and you tell me if I'm wrong, as a woman of color, right? And if you worked in a professional scene, there was times when you wanted to speak out and you couldn't because you would be labeled as what? The angry black woman, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need that one person to stand up, and like, you'd be surprised at how many other people felt the same way. And I feel like that's what's happening now for the support from certain people. Hell yeah, some of it's fake. Hell yeah, some of it's fake. Like, you've seen it. People just going to the protest to take a picture and then hopping in a car to leave. With this generation, we're so integrated now. Like, my cousins are biracial. They're white, but they're Irish and black. And I have Hispanic, Afro-Latino cousins. You know what I mean? So it's like, damn, we might not understand totally, but we have to say something because this is going to affect your kids too. And for kids and people, like in boxing, we don't just be like, oh, we only hang with black people, we only hang with white people. Like, I'm friends with like Sandy Ryan. I love her. Like, you know what I mean? Australia. I'm all over the world that aren't black.
Yeah.
And normal for me. And that's what people need to understand. Like, I bang with them because they're humans. They respect what I do. I respect what they do. I don't care what color they are. I don't care what they speak. As long as they show me love, I'm going to show them love. And that's why it's a lot more support, because a lot of people are thinking that way. This new generation is like that.
Yeah. There are, I think, sport in general, people tend to mix more anyway, don't they? And I think that some people, unfortunately, are, they're just not aware. They're just not aware of what we go through on a day-to-day basis.
It's like this. Sports and music make the world go round. You can kill a war with music. You can kill a war with sports, right?
Yeah.
And the main part is people are those people that are so stuck in those negative ways of thinking. Like, they just found out Beethoven was black. Everybody loves Beethoven. Yeah. And it's like, oh, are you just gonna dismiss his accomplishments or dismiss the love you have for his music because you found out, oh, he was an African descendant? That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our country, Thomas Jefferson had 5 whole kids by a woman of color who are descendants of today. Are you gonna just kick them to the curb? No, like, get over it.
Yeah.
We all
the
same place.
It's true. I am glad. So we're very different in England. Everybody sort of is. Nobody really wants to talk about these things, you know, and so it's made people very uncomfortable here. However, I'm in total agreement with you. I think it's something that had needed to be opened. Wounds needed to be opened in order for us all to heal. And I think now there are people educating themselves.
Like okay, so UK had like a grand event with Meghan Markle integrating into the royal family, which, you know, they've stepped aside from. And it's like, why do y'all hate her? Like, you love your prince. Why are you mad because he found happiness with a woman who just happens to be of mixed race? You know, it's just like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I on Facebook page, I found this episode on the Megyn Kelly show where this woman lived her whole life as a white woman, and she found out her mother was black. And
I think I've seen,
crazy.
Is that an American thing? That sounds very familiar.
Yes, I'll send you the link, but it's crazy because she was like, they said she found out, like, at the end of the day, race is a social structure. Like,
yeah,
because look at her, she looks white, but her cousin is black. Like, they all come from the same place, and it's crazy.
yeah. Let's hope this is the beginning of something positive, like you say. We're having a lot of discussions here. Long overdue. Long overdue. But yeah.
Boxing icons is Nicola Adams, you know? And it's like, y'all how would y'all feel like you love her for sports, but if she wasn't who she was, would you still love her?
Everyone adored her. Absolutely adored her. So yeah. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But I would love to see you here fighting at some stage. You have got a lot of fans over here. You mentioned Sandy, Miss GB, that you two are friends.
My friend.
Yeah, she's a good girl, and it looks like she's back in the A team.
Who?
Sandy.
That's my girl. When we were over there, we went to the world tournament together in Kazakhstan, and I had a ball with her. Like, I love her, and she's just a hard worker, and she's really dope.
Yeah, that's nice to hear. That's nice to hear. So listen, thank you very much for giving me your time. Really nice to see you. Keep me posted with everything that's going on in your life.
Yes, and you stay beautiful. I'm sure I'll talk to you soon. And thank you for having me. Sorry about the mix-up.
No worries at all. If you like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber of Shadowboxruk UK, we'd love to see you. So please go ahead and subscribe now.